My name is TyRee Jenks. I am working towards a bachelor's in applied science with a focus in business, and today I will be presenting on drug control. I've always been interested in issues of social justice and inequality. So back in 2014, I took a course on drug control called the American Disease, Drugs and Drug Control in the USA, presented by the University of Florida. This course helped inform me on various aspects of the history of the war on drugs, from the Pure Food and Drug Act of 1906 to the drug schedule of today. Seeing a tremendous amount of injustice and the illegality of drugs throughout the world inspired me to learn more about it, which led me to the writing of my research paper and presenting this presentation now. I hope to illustrate why our government would choose such a detrimental and faulty method of drug control. And looking at the beginning of the war on drugs, with cannabis prohibition, there was and still is massive amounts of propaganda against its use and association of it with certain racial groups. In the 1930s, movies, newspaper articles, comics, and more began slandering cannabis. They associated it with rape, murder, rage, and other acts of insanity. At the time of this propaganda, cannabis was also renamed to marijuana, associating it with foreign peoples. There's tremendous racism against Black and Hispanic people at this time, and much of cannabis use was associated with so-called degenerate races. There were many negative quotes from people like Harry J. Anslinger, who was the drug czar of the DEA at the time, which was at the time known as the Bureau of Narcotics. In reality, though, no race is connected to using cannabis more than any other. Regardless of that, though, many races are known to be arrested more for drug use, even when they use drugs the same amount. Another reason beyond racism for drug control is monetary gain. There are many ways in which the government gains from having drugs illegal. This includes having jobs and organizations whose sole purpose is to keep drugs illegal, like the DEA and the NIDA. Another aspect is civil asset forfeiture. This is a law by which the government can seize any assets you possess under the suspicion that they may be used in the purchase or selling of drugs or terrorist acts. But then you aren't charged with a crime. Instead, your possessions are charged with the crime. This results in hilarious court cases like United States versus $8,850 in United States currency, United States of America versus approximately 64,695 pounds of shark fins, and United States of America versus an article consisting of 50,000 cardboard boxes, more or less each containing one pair of black balls. That is a mouthful. But as you can see across America, civil asset forfeiture is a serious issue, and the government has gained hundreds of millions of dollars every year from acting on civil asset forfeiture. From 2008 to 2013 alone, $6.8 billion of assets were seized under this law, and since 9/11 there have been 60,000 cash seizures. This is a tremendous amount of power for our government to wield against us legally. And that's not to mention the other aspects of societal control that the government has over us. One large aspect of societal control is mass incarceration. America has 5% of the world's population, yet 25% of the world's prison population. Since the war on drugs launched and the Controlled Substances Act was initiated, our prison population has risen over 800% in just 40 years. Another aspect of societal control is police militarization. Now, thanks to the war on drugs, police have been militarized to a degree in which they have heavy armor, heavy weapons, tanks, helicopters, sonic cannons, all with little to no regulation or training, unfortunately, for their sake and ours. One of the clearest and most egregious examples of our government's invoking control over us, though, is the Schedule 1 status of dimethyltryptamine, or DMT. DMT is a substance commonly found in many forms of life throughout the world, from the grass at our feet, to our pets' cats and dogs, to our very own brains. because we produce DMT when we dream. So who's to say that the government may not one day simply charge us with the possession of a Schedule I substance that they know that we possess? At any point in time, we could be arrested for possessing DMT, which is insane. In the end, the war on drugs is a massive travesty, resulting in many civil rights violations and insane levels of control by our government over its people. Altogether, the drug war has been a massive failure for the majority of the populace, but a large success for those few who benefit directly from it. With those that benefit from the war on drugs being in direct control of the legality of drugs, it's hard to say this will ever end. But hopefully, with this information out here, more of us can know and do something about it.